Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Blue Origin is closing in on manned spaceflight. A WASP aviator has gone west. Air shows in the UK are in peril. I'm Bree Cross. It's March 11th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos says he expects to conduct his first manned test flights as early as next year and carrying passengers as early as 2018. He says thousands of people have said they're interested in eventually flying with the company. Bezos made the comments during a rare media tour of the Blue Origin facility in Kent, Washington, according to a report from the Associated Press. And while Blue Origin is not yet taking reservations or deposits for eventual space tourism flights, it does plan to generate revenue building a new rocket engine for the United Launch Alliance that will replace the Russian RD-180 that ULA currently uses to boost U.S. satellites into space. Bezos also said he is working towards a goal of decreasing the cost of launches by making the booster reusable, which could put a project like building a colony on Mars feasible. There's no word yet on who will be the first passenger. One of the few remaining members of the Women Airforce Service Pilots has gone west at the age of 96. Elizabeth Strohfus passed away March 6th at an assisted living facility in Minnesota. The Washington Post reports that Ms. Strohfus had ferried military planes across the United States in 1943 and 1944. She also helped train air and infantry gunners at the Las Vegas Army Airfield. According to her bio from the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame, she taught instrument flying to male cadets and later ferried B-17s and AT-6s around the country. Strohfus was inducted into the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame in 2000 and received Congressional Gold Medals for her service as a WASP and for service in the Civil Air Patrol. We at ANN offer a farewell salute to Ms. Strohfus, and we offer our gratitude to all the women who served as WASP pilots during World War II. After the break, the airshow industry in the UK is hit hard.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. The issue of continuing airshows in the UK is in serious question. In a piece for the Royal Aeronautical Society, commentator Tim Robinson says that the accident last year at Shoreham and the resulting rift between the UK Civil Aviation Authority and the airshow industry may be a turning point for airshows in that country. Robinson says the Shoreham accident, quote, involved people outside the air display minding their own business. There is thus a legal difference between the informed and accepted risk of the pilot, airshow spectators who pay to get in to see the display, and nearby passers-by who might be injured or killed in an accident. He said that the CAA's ban on high-energy maneuvers by classic military aircraft was justified in the wake of the accident, but the proposed massive increases in fees for air displays came as a major shock to many airshow organizers. It appears to us at ANN that the exorbitant CAA airshow fees are aimed more at eliminating the events than working with the industry to make them safer. It's Friday, which means that it's time for ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly barnstorming commentary. The recent and widely covered story of a Cirrus aircraft being saved by its parachute is a good thing. However, Jim wants to give credit where credit is due. Here is this week's barnstorming.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. Imagine my surprise this week after some recent news involving people using airframe parachutes inspired or designed, or in some cases manufactured by BRS, are running around with all kinds of superfluous nonsense alongside where people are going, thank you, Cirrus, thank you, Cirrus, thank you, Cirrus, please. Folks, I'm a little disturbed by Cirrus's attempt to rewrite history. As you know, I've got very little faith in the company. I sat around and watched them lie through their teeth. I've watched them defraud and cheat people. And let's face it, they did their best to shut us up something that they failed at because we were within minutes of deposing Dale Clapmeyer when they decided to fold their tent. Well, at any rate, make a long story short, I'm concerned here because the BRS technology that's been used to save dozens of lives aboard Cirrus aircraft is the direct result of innovations created by the BRS group, Boris Popov, and a number of inspired people working with them, and later on by Alan Clapmeyer, the true innovator and the creator of the company that became known later on as Cirrus Design. And while Dale Clapmeyer loves to take credit and even at one point was quoted in the news as having been the person who experienced a midair and the person who invented the BRS, all that is malarkey. There was a midair incident quite a long time ago, and Alan Clapmeyer was the victim of that. That inspired him to make sure that the airplanes he produced were the safest that he could put on the market. Hence, every single Cirrus under his watch was equipped with BRS technology. Boris Popov and the BRS company were true innovators. I know because, well, I was there. During a number of the deployments, sitting alongside parachute technology veteran Gary DeReese was me. I sat in these airplanes almost a dozen times, fired off the chute, and watched this technology go to work. We had problems, we had solutions, we did what was necessary. And it was an extraordinary privilege for me to watch true innovators at work. So why is the credit for these things important? Very simply this. Alan Clapmeyer is trying to innovate again. Boris Popov is trying to innovate again. When the credit for their hard work is stolen from them by malarkey and BS, in many cases emitted by Cirrus, who is trying to rewrite history, it's no longer the company that was created by Alan and Dale Clapmeyer. Now it was Dale and Alan Clapmeyer. And folks, I was there at the beginning of that too, and Dale also ran. The real work was done by Alan. Ask anybody who was there at the beginning who knows what's going on. But for them to be able to go out and innovate again, it helps to have the motive force, the creative credit, and the kudos necessary to say, yeah, I've been an innovator. I'm ready to do it again. And for them to get the resources, to get the backing, to get the funding, that credit is often critical to the next big thing. So it's not just a matter of cheating people out of the credit that they're due. It's a matter of cheating us of future possibilities that are necessary to recreate a new beginning for aviation, which is absolutely critical now and more than necessary, because the only aviation we're going to have is that which we create for ourselves for the future. The old aviation is dead. It's not going anywhere. And it's time for us to rebuild it anew. Credit is where credit is due. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
After these messages, flight attendants to return to United Airlines.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. In 2014, 13 United Airline flight attendants were relieved of their duties after filing an OSHA complaint against the airline. An agreement has been reached where United will reinstate the flight attendants, and the flight attendants will withdraw their OSHA filing. The FAA has granted an STC to AirSail, allowing the installation of the company's air-safe system into the center fuel tank of Boeing 737, 700, 800 aircraft. AirSafe provides a means of ignition mitigation, preventing a spark from causing an explosion in the fuel tank. Aviation and F-35A Lightning II fans have something special to look forward to this 2016 Airshow season. The Air Force Heritage Flight Program allows the F-35 to fly in airshow formations with the legacy World War II and Korean War aircraft. U.S. Air Force B-52 Stratofortresses joined French aircraft and ground troops from a dozen nations for a close air support exercise in the Mediterranean. This is the first year B-52s have been invited to participate in this close air support exercise. Bombardier Commercial Aircraft has extended its authorized service facility agreement with Hawker Pacific of Sydney, Australia for an additional 5 years. Hawker Pacific is designated as an authorized service provider for all Bombardier -8 and Q-Series aircraft. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Bell Helicopter has announced continued program performance and outstanding customer response for the Bell 505 Jet Ranger X. The Bell 505 is a 5-seat, single-engine turbine helicopter launched at Heli Expo 2014. The program has moved from a mock-up to prototype in less than 2 years. Flight testing is underway and the company is making significant progress towards type certification. 3 flight test vehicles have amassed more than 575 flight hours, and work has begun to prepare for low-rate initial production at the Lafayette, Louisiana Assembly Center. Additionally, engine partner Turbomeca received EASA type certification for the Arias 2R engine, which will power the Bell 505. According to Bell, they are working closely with Transport Canada on type certification and look forward to start delivering aircraft later this year. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us in a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday.